Scott Boras did not have the easiest time heading into the 2024 season. He wasn't able to get any of the free agents he represented big contracts, with all of them having to settle for short-term deals. It also didn't really show any promise for a potential opportunity of a future big contract. I mean, if teams aren't going to give a two-time Cy Young Award winner who's coming off of his second a big contract now, why would they when he's a year or two older? Same went for the other guys. And with the way the offseason went, one that resulted in Boras losing one of his clients, as Jordan Montgomery left his agency before going as far as to call him out, saying that he butchered it, we were all thinking Boras was cooked. The man, known to get the fattest deals in the game and really all of sports, was now not getting any. And speaking of that two-time Cy Young Award winner, though, Blake Snell over in San Francisco, he defended Boras after Montgomery's comments, and sticking with San Francisco, Blake Snell's teammate Matt Chapman, another Boras client who signed a short-term deal around when he did, may have just put Scott Boras back at the top.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
This may be the biggest comeback since Tobey Maguire returned as Spider-Man. It's the redemption arc we've been waiting for all along. Matt Chapman is an interesting kind of development, if that's the right word to use. I feel like after the years he had in 2018 and 2019, back when the Oakland A's were not a joke, people kind of expected him to become a premier hitter. In 2018, Chapman's first full big league season, he hit 24 home runs, was a well above average hitter in all of baseball, racked up over 40 doubles, and in 2019 upped his power even more with 36 home runs, 36 more doubles, was an overall well above average hitter. He was really shaping up to be one of the top third basemen in all of baseball, potentially the best. 2020 happened and he was good, but it was 2021 where a big regression happened. He still had pop, hitting 27 home runs, but his batting average went way down to 210. He was a league average hitter. He just wasn't great, and that's when the Blue Jays dealt for him in hopes he'd get back to what he was before the pandemic, and in some ways, he was that hitter, in others, he wasn't. The main thing regarding Chapman and his bat was his streakiness. There were times he lit the world on fire and hit the ball harder than anyone, and then times where he was ice cold. And something he did in both his years in Toronto was cool off in the last couple of months. For 2 straight years, he did that. And so entering the free agent market, it was clear Chapman was likely never going to reach the hitting we saw of him in Oakland necessarily, but he was still an above average bat to go along with something that's remained true throughout his entire career. The glove, his defense at third base. It's freaking awesome and really adds so much value to whatever team he's on. Now, I'm not the biggest lover of defense when talking about overall value of players, particularly when they get a lot of money, like big money. If you're making Hall of Fame money, I don't care about defense. Hitting like a Hall of Famer is what matters most. And the reason I look at Chapman's defense in a more valuable way is because he's not on some monumental deal. He's not really getting paid to just hit. The deal he settled for was to bet on himself and still shoot for the big contract he felt he deserved, signing a 3-year deal worth $54 million, and he got that bigger contract he deserved. Matt Chapman isn't going anywhere, and Scott Boras' revenge and redemption tour has begun, as Chapman just signed a 6-year extension with the Giants for $151 million, a deal I just love for every side. First, I love it for Chapman. He gets the money he was looking for before this season. The A's offered him $150 million for 10 years back in 2019. He'd be dumb to take that. The Blue Jays offered him $120 million for 6 years in his final year with them. He'd be dumb to take that, and he said no. Took a short-term deal in hopes he can still get what he was looking for, and betting on himself worked, because he ends up getting about $16 million on top of the $150 million he was gunning for to begin with. I'm happy for the guy. He's worked hard for this and he's locked up now. I love this for the Giants because it's a nice contract length and nothing insane money-wise. $25 million is nothing to scoff at. That's a lot of money, but it's also not 30 plus million, and it's for 6 years rather than like 10 plus, which is way too much of a commitment. It's similar to the Carlos Correa Twins deal, also for 6 years but more in dollars. The Giants get to keep arguably the best defensive infielder in the game, who's also put up a nice offensive season this year. And last but certainly not least, I love this for Scott Boras. After all this time of everyone calling him washed, calling him cooked, one of his own clients leaving him and criticizing him, after all that, Boras now gets to give us all the bird and get Matt Chapman pretty much the exact deal he was looking for. So honestly, credit to him for that, because I, and I'm sure many people, still didn't think Chapman would be able to get a contract like this, even with the 2024 season that he's had, which has been very good. But he did. So let the Scott Boras revenge tour begin. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.